Just said Ray Washburn, and he's Red Lobster. He talked about Chili's and talked about how if it's you can get $1 more at Chili's. I guess that's a higher. It's not a McDonald's. It's thought of as a casual dining or something. So if it's only $1 difference, you might go to Chili's. So you recognize that and move quickly, right?
Yeah, and part of what we also saw was that, particularly with middle and lower income consumers, they're feeling under a lot of pressure right now. I think there's a lot of commentary about what's the state of the economy, how's it doing, and what we see is it's really kind of a two-tier economy. If you're upper income, earning over $100,000, things are good. The stock markets are near all-time highs. You're feeling, quite confident about things. You're seeing international travel. All those barometers of upper income consumers are doing quite well. What we see with middle and lower income consumers is actually a different story. It's that consumers under a lot of pressure. In our industry, traffic for lower income consumers is down double digits. And it's because people are either choosing to skip a meal. So we're seeing breakfast. People are actually skipping breakfast, or they're choosing to just eat at home. And so for our business, which has a significant group of consumers which are in that middle and lower income, we needed to step in with something like what we're doing here.
Do you find yourself, tiering different products, though? Meaning saying to yourself, okay, there's going to be a lower income consumer, and we're gonna have this product for them. But then we have a luxury consumer that's walking in, and we're going to charge them, a premium price for some kind of premium product.
Yeah, we call it value ladders. So there would be something that would be an entry price point for someone who's looking for something that maybe they only have a few dollars in their pocket. So what can I buy for a few dollars in my pocket? And then we try to offer more premium items as well for somebody who's maybe able to spend more money.
But because it's a two-tier economy, do you not get the benefit of wealthier people trading down that you might in a generalized economy or economic downturn?
We don't see as much, again, because that wealthier consumer right now isn't feeling under a lot of pressure. It's just, this isn't like what we saw in the Great Recession, where that consumer, everybody was trading down. Right now, again, if you're upper income, you're feeling pretty good about things, and so we're not seeing as pronounced a trade down effect this time around.
And the chickens, it's back. The snack wraps are back.
Snack wraps
back.
Permanently. $2.99. Spicy ranch. Have you tried it?
Yesterday, the women in my family want those. And they said, did you ask him if he fired the person that got rid of the snack wraps? And you said we probably did.
We probably did. Yeah.
But it was a while ago. I want to just ask one thing about MAGA versus Maha, because I would have thought that. I mean, there was a stigma, an anti-McDonald's sort of a stigma among, I don't know what you would call it, for lack of a better term, woke people. So I see that reversing a little bit. But at the same time, I see Robert F. Kennedy Jr. looking at the president when he's eating a Big Mac and rolling his eyes. It's almost like two competing narratives coming from the same administration. I've never wavered on McDonald's, as you know. Anything in moderation.
I think for us, part of this is a lot of the things that have fallen sort of under this Maha umbrella are all about artificials. They're about artificial preservatives, artificial flavors, artificial colors. Because the food that we're preparing in our kitchen is fresh, we actually don't use artificial colors, flavors, preservatives. Where you see it will be in things that some of our soft drinks that we serve will have it. Some of the toppings on a McFlurry, if you think about.
Supersize Me. People think about that movie.
Yeah, so that was
fat.
Certainly a long time ago we had that as well.
Right.
But I think this is where on our menu we try to just make sure people have choice. So if you want to have a lower calorie option, if you want to have a more indulgent option, how do we just make sure
you don't sell yogurt and apple slices anymore?
They do sell yogurt.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, we do.
Well, that's where I was going to go, which is we keep talking about the health of the consumer. I want to know about the health of the franchisees themselves.
Yeah.
And sort of regionally, where they're super healthy, where maybe they're less healthy.
Yeah.
How you think about that?
Yeah. There's no doubt that in the last, call it 4 or 5 years, the franchisees have been under a lot of cost pressure. They've been under cost pressure because food and packaging costs are up north of 40%. And you also have seen labor costs go up pretty significantly across the country. There's close to 30 states that have had significant increases in the state minimum wage. California notoriously introduced the $20 minimum wage just for restaurants that are 60 restaurants or more. So there's been a lot of cost pressure that's been on the franchisees, which in part has led to some of the price increases that you're seeing as well. I think through all of it, our franchisees are still doing well. We're certainly doing better than our competitors. If you think about where we were all-time cash flows, we're probably off maybe 10% from where our franchisees had all-time cash flows. That said, there are definitely pockets of the market, like in California, where there is much more pressure on that. And I think this is where, with our franchisees, that's part of why we wanted to step in and co-invest with them to do this extra value meal program, to show that we're all in it together, and that the cost pressures that they have, we're also not asking them to do everything on pricing. We're willing to step in this particular case and help them as well.
I think one of your predecessors, I just remember that instead of doing a lot of innovation, it was going to be fast, it was going to be fresh, it was going to be consistent from franchisee to franchisee. And I go to a lot of different ones if you travel. Yeah. And I haven't had a bad one, I don't think, recently. How does the corporate parent make sure that everyone's on the same page, the franchisees?
It all starts with our strategy, and one of our strategy is called Accelerating the Arches, and one of the things that we've said with the strategy is commit to the core menu. Our menu, about 60% of the menu is what we call core menu, which would be the Big Mac, the Quarter Pounder. If you have the Golden Arches outside the restaurant, you have to be flying. You have to be having.
Do you have a bottom 10% of quality? Do you know franchisees that are just bad? Absolutely. Trash doesn't get emptied. It takes forever.
The thing I love
through.
about this business is we have data on everything, and we have it down to the minute. So we are able to slice and dice restaurant performance.
What happens to a franchisee that's in that bottom, let's say 2 percentile or 5
Yeah, well,
percentile?
it starts with we try to improve them. And so sometimes a franchisee might not even know that they're in the bottom 10%. And then when we identify they're in the bottom 10%, then we go, why are you in the bottom 10%? And we'll work with them to develop a plan to try to now improve the performance of the restaurant. Over time, if that doesn't happen, then we have a different conversation. But our starting point is everybody that's in our system is trying to do a good job. So if they're not doing a good job, are we doing the right coaching to help a restaurant improve?